Well, that's interesting. Pagani is the plural of Pagano, and Pagano means village dweller. The more you know. What up guys, Drifter here, back at it again with another video, and today we are gonna review this car right here, the Pagani Huayra Roadster. I know I'm quite late on this, but I've gotten this recently from my peg hunting video yesterday, and I'm kinda happy to have it. It's a pretty cool looking car. But that's not what we're gonna talk about today mainly, not just the car itself. I mean, the car itself is pretty cool. You can see some pretty nice details. But to compare this with its alternative, the hardtop version. So this one is from the Gran Turismo line, and you can see, or you may not see, sort of, that you might be thinking, hey Drifter, why are you making this video? You can see that the only difference the car has is that the Roadster version has no roof, while this one has a roof. That's a good point, a guy with a weird voice. Well, surprisingly guys, that's not the only difference. I looked around the car, examined it closely, and it turns out there are more than one differences between the two cars. And I'm surprised that no one has pointed it out, like Race Grooves and other reviewers. So, what are the differences between the two cars? Well, let me show you. First, let's concentrate on the rear. Obviously, on the rear, you can see that this one has rear light tempos, while this one doesn't have any rear light tempos. However, this one does have a Hot Wheels logo and a Huayra Roadster emblem, while this one has a Pagani and a Huayra Roadster emblem. So that's a pretty strange thing right there, that Hot Wheels decided to put a logo here while they didn't do so on the Gran Turismo version. Just an interesting observation. You might only think that, hey, that's all of the differences, the tempos, that's all. Nope. I think most of you have noticed that on the Huayra Roadster version, you can see that the rear bumper is part of the dark blue metal body. But on this one, you can see that the black part right here, that's the rear bumper, it's part of the black plastic base. So I think that's a good move on that one, that this one is sort of it has less metal on it because it doesn't have a roof after all. So it's good that they made this part metal, or else they'll be doing some more cost savings, if you get what I'm saying. And there's one more difference. If you take a look at the exhaust pipe right here, you can see that it's part of the blue metal body too, while on this one it's part of the plastic interior. Honestly, I know it's good to have more metal, more metal on a car means it's heavier and looks nicer, but in this case, I'm surprised why they did this for the Pagani Huayra Roadster while they did this for the hardtop version. I think this looks better because exhaust pipes are supposed to be gray, so this one looks nicer as compared to this because the exhaust pipes on this one is just part of the blue metal body. Well, that's not all the differences because there are some more differences between the two in the other sides of the car. Let's talk about the front. Alright, so for the front, both does have the front light tempos, but in terms of mold, one change I noticed right now is this part right here. You can see on the Roadster version, you can see that this part is part of the black interior, but surprisingly on this one, it doesn't have that thing over there, it's just a blank spot over there. And one other change is the front bumper. This one is completely different. I'm not sure why is it this way. Maybe Pagani decided to do this for their cars, but the front bumper is very different. The Huayra Roadster version has a lower profile to it. It's much lower to the ground, while the one on the Gran Turismo version doesn't have any bumper. So, I mean, it does have a bumper, but as you can see, it's less aggressive as compared to the Huayra Roadster version. So that's a pretty interesting observation right there. And how about the sides? Are there any differences in the side? Nope, just kidding, there is. On the Roadster version, the side is completely plain. There are no details on the side. The hardtop version, surprisingly, once again, I know I keep saying the word surprisingly, but it really is surprising that on the side here we have the Huayra logo signature right there, and this small grill right there, the metal grill, is detailed silver. So yeah, those are all the differences between the two cars, and that's really interesting. I mean, it's good that I think, in my opinion, the Roadster version, if this had a roof, this is definitely better because it has the rear light tempos, the much lower stance. Yeah, I think it doesn't have the side details, but it does have a lower stance, and the rear light tempos, I think the tempos on sports cars are important. Like, normally collectors, like, they prefer, for example, Lamborghinis, to have the front light tempos and prefer to be plain rather than it having decals and not having the tempos and whatnot. So the Roadster version, in my opinion, is better in terms of detail and whatnot. So you can see right here the engine bay. That's pretty cool. So it's really interesting, like, this observation. It's like why did Hot Wheels choose to make these two cars this way? You know, it's a really interesting question that we should ask ourselves. Sort of, I'm not sure how to put it. Like, why did Hot Wheels decide to give these rear light tempos while this one doesn't have any rear light tempos? Or why did Hot Wheels choose to this just to detail that one tiny grill right there, and not detail it on this one? You know, it's really strange. You know, the things that Hot Wheels are doing. Is it for budget cuts? I think it's for budget cuts, but it's a really strange observation. So, what do you guys think? Which do you prefer, the Roadster version or the hardtop version? And are there any differences that I missed out on? Do tell me in the comments below. But that's it, guys, for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys want to see my previous video, click on the top right, or if you guys want to see another random video, click on the bottom right. I hope you guys have a good day or have a good evening, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.